real soon. No, but really, I'm gonna be muting myself now. I need to go sneeze and sniffle and suffer
Alright.
before.
So would anyone
I don't
other
need to
than
be-
Lily like to do the recap?
I can do the recap, I suppose. Think that we started.
Is Nuffy not gonna be here today? Sorry for interrupting you.
He said he's going to be quite late.
Okay, sorry for interrupting you again. I was just wondering.
We we started having concluded the investigation and finishing discussing exactly what we're going to do about. Well, not concluding the investigation, but having figured out what's going on by discussing what to do next, and generally agreed that okay, let's go to the capital, scout things out, and try to make a broker a deal for this region. It took about 3 weeks or something to finish the ship to flying shape, and then we took off, and it went rather well. After a few days of flying, we encountered a very strange portal, which we didn't avoid. I don't know if we could have avoided it, but that took us straight to the capital and back in time. Which we didn't figure out quick enough, and the timelines have resolved themselves by now. In the capital, we spoke to the secret council of the secret people.
Secret council of the secret people.
Yeah, the secret council of the leaders of this nation. And although it's probably not very secret, but we spoke to only 3 of them, and we convinced them very easily that we probably should let that region explore in, give them a bit of time to build ships that are going to require less manpower and be safer in general, with which we promise to help, and that should make them generally happier. It was left up to us to exert punishment upon the region. The requirements for those guilty were to be executed and, dumped somewhere at sea. Kevin brokered the right for us to decide on punishments of those who are marginally guilty, especially we're thinking about the boy. So after that, we kind of kept up the charade that we wanted to verify that it's all true, and waiting a couple of weeks for the report of the alchemists. And during this time, me and Nolaris spent a bunch of time researching the time flop, which, as I said, was resolved by itself, and Nia spent shopping.
Or she attempted to shop anyways.
Yes, but we don't really know how much money we have left after we finished with the ship, so we didn't actually buy anything. And I'm sorry I forgot to chase about the money after the ship. I forgot.
That's all good. Last week was certainly something. Okay, so we will be starting with Nilvarius.
Sorry, hold on. The entire setup is weird. I have to go in a roundabout way to open up my fucking character sheet.
Okay,
Okay,
then.
sorry. Go ahead. Well, I was I said I would continue my research. Obviously, I needed to do my research. I needed the Arcanum if they're going to actually acquire it for me. So probably follow up on that if I'm going to continue trying to find a way to use. Basically, I think my general research was in the realm of actual like teleportation, and we have a library set up for special bonus for that for me. And I think my two goals of research was both the web and the actual the anchor to teleport for ships. I recall, but I just because it's just easier because it's an all around this same subject. We're just researching this new subject matter of teleportation with our using Arcanum, I guess.
Yep. Sorry, I was just exporting an image. Okay, so one of the guards of the town, this one appears to be wearing some sort of crystal armor. The usual metallic parts of the standardized guard armor is instead replaced with crystal. This crystal seems to be inconsistent in gem cut. So some of it is quite rigid, quite poor quality. Other parts seem to be quite fine, quite refined. The guard asks you to follow them. Varying different colors of gemstone.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
They appear to be human, probably no older than about 30.
Okay. I follow along with them.
They take you to a private building. This establishment seems to be... I would describe it as the upper end of things, but it also appears to be closed and not have been in use for maybe a year or two from how it's being treated.
So it's been out of service for a year. Is it like any way to tell if it's been intentionally made to look like it's been abandoned?
Make me a perception check.
Because it actually, and just as a reminder, I see magic as a general without having to take any sort of action.
Right. So you can see traces of maintenance spells that have been cast upon the place in the last week or so. Hasn't been magically treated to make it look abandoned, but it has been magically upkept.
Okay.
When you walk inside, you feel the presence of almost a creature made of magic. It's not incredibly potent, it's not incredibly... what would the word be for that? Consistent is probably the best way to describe it. The magics inside of it are chaotic, there are multiple different kinds, and they're almost clashing within the creature.
What exactly does this creature look like?
Well, you're not actually sure until they move within 30 feet of you, and then you can actually see them. This is what they look like. Sorry. There we go. As they walk into view, you can see them remove their mask.
Any chance I would recognize this particular race, this kitsune? Or no? Are they not?
There is a chance. Let's see. Do you have Feywild knowledge by any chance?
I most certainly do.
Make me a Feywild knowledge check.
Well, add 3 to that. That is 33. Since I don't know how to add bonuses to lore skills. So
You see traits of Fey within the creature, but you don't recognize them as a kitsune. From a lack of familiarity with the race.
yeah. Greetings, he says.
In a backwards chant, you hear it say, "Greetings, Nilvarius." It takes a couple extra moments to actually process what it says, because you've got to reverse what it says, but you're intelligent enough to be capable of doing that. I apologize for the dialect barrier.
What?
Sorry, let me turn that down a bit so that it's not picking up as much rain.
I am unfamiliar. What dialect are you speaking?
It is a consequence. Trick of the tongue that is developed when you learn Kitsune. It inverts even Elvish. It twists your tongue. She is speaking Elvish, but it appears to be backwards.
Well, greetings. It is nice to meet you. What is your name?
I'm Linzel.
Linzel?
That is right. I am one of the members of the council, but I did not have the pleasure of meeting you that day.
We ended up here sooner than expected due to some unusual phenomenon that came and went.
I see. I only arrived back in town, but 12 hours ago.
Well, if you need time to rest from your travels, this doesn't have to be done right away.
There is a conversation I must have with you.
I see.
You have no value of this nation. Your investment seems limited.
My investment is in this research. This research, in the end, will prove good to all factions that are actually involved. We have something mutually to gain from this.
Yes, but your loyalty is to the research, not to the people. I am not begrudging you because of this. I actually think it's reasonable for someone to focus so heavily on their aptitude rather than the social responsibility that others might thrust upon them.
I hear there's a but along the way.
What are the odds of you using this to benefit other societies other than ours?
Well, ultimately, what I would want to eventually see someday is the ability for people to safely go from one place to the other. You would probably still need mages to actually use these rights to actually move from place to place. That's how I would ultimately want to see it. I would want to see it used for the betterment of people, not used for the very likely application of war. But as far as I'm concerned, someone is eventually going to do this research regardless, whether it be me or it be done by somebody else. Someone is going to use this.
I
And I
agree
can
that
only
this
hope
research is
that
inevitable,
whoever
as all developments in magical technology is. I am not, however, inclined to say that it must happen now. I am not opposed to it happening now. I am opposed to this being used against us. And for it to be used against us, it must be used by someone other than us. And if you have no loyalties to this nation, that makes it likely that you might use it against us, or allow someone else to gain access to it who would use it against us. So I shall repeat my question. What are the odds that you grant this technology to someone other than our nation?
hmm, well, in the end of the day, I see this as contracted work. I am being asked to develop something for you to use. If you're paying for it, then it is yours. Am I going to specifically use it or teach other nations to use it? Likely not, because there isn't a reason that would ever be given to ultimately develop it. I don't carry that name. I'm known in academic circles for my work in planar theory and planar mechanics. Do I know a lot about transposition magic? Of course, but that's not exactly what I'm really known for. I don't imagine other people trying to contact me because of research that they know nothing that I'm sorry. I can't imagine them trying to contact me and asking me for knowledge about something I've already developed for you, seeing as how I'm developing it here.
Something worth noting is that above this creature's head you see your own true name.
What does make me concerned about you and working for the council is how everyone's true names seem to be blurred. Something that's not very common.
That
I'm
would be
worried
my
about whether or not-
specialization. It took me several hours to deduce yours. I hope this showing is enough to intimidate you into staying in line.
Don't think you can intimidate me. I don't appreciate that in the slightest bit.
I do not
I am
expect
not
you to
owned.
appreciate it, only to understand it.
I am not owned, and I will not be owned.
I do not want to own you. I do not want to own anyone.
Your petty attempt at intimidation says otherwise.
You see her eyes smile, but her mouth stays pressed. What elven line do you stem from?
By line, what line does he mean?
Your
Talking
house.
about if you know so much about me already, then why are you prying? If it's obvious, like Navarius is a little more tense than he was when he first walked into this room. Did he, as a reference, did he use any sort of scrying or anything to find stuff out about me?
No.
No? Okay.
As far as Novarius is concerned, he's not convinced that there should be a way for someone to find out his true name. It should be warded against anyone who doesn't know the circumstances of his birth. Divination is an easy way to gain access to it, but they've got wards against that which should prevent that.
I'm just curious how the heck he would actually, how this Kitsune would actually get a hold of his true name in a matter of a couple hours if he's hiding the details of his birth.
It shouldn't be possible.
You know, that brings up an interesting thought. Does it, for me, since elves reincarnate, does their true name change as every single time they reincarnate, or is it set at the moment of their first birth, basically?
It depends on how complete the reincarnation is. So let's say you're an elf who completely reincarnates into a singular being, then you keep your true name. But if you're an elf that has when you reincarnate, you're actually the product of parts from, let's say, 5 different elves, then you have a new true name. If you are a complete reincarnation, then you are the creature that you once were. But if you are a mixed incarnation, which the vast majority of elves are, then you have a new true name.
Okay, I gotcha.
Alright.
Sorry, what was the last line from Linsar? I believe the name of their name was Linsar or Linzel.
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 They just asked you for your elven line.
Oh, you know, he responded if you learns he responded to that if you learn so much about me so quickly, then why do you need to pry? That was his response.
Time is finite, and all knowledge is not gained instantly. If you do not care to answer, that is fine. It is not in line with why I need to speak to you. I have spoken to you about why I needed to speak to you.
I'm not. You have me at a disadvantage, and that's obviously intentional. Because of that, I wouldn't mind sharing, but this threat that you've leveled against me, I'm not particularly fond of.
Good. If it is a secret you will keep to protect yourself, I will accept that answer.
So what now, Linzo?
I believe our conversation is done. I have said what I needed to. You have heard what I needed you to hear. Any words from this point onwards would merely be appealing to either your good heart or my good heart. She smirks slightly when she says that.
So am I going to conduct this research or not?
I would like the research conducted, but I cannot compel you to do so.
No,
As
my
you have
intention
put
was still
forward.
going to conduct. My intention was to do the research regardless. Doing so will give me greater insight into how exactly I'm supposed to reach Elgara. If you wanted understanding of
She seems shocked.
what guides and
Elgara.
directs my purpose.
That place is real.
It is. I've managed to extrapolate several locations. Managed to, if I can eventually find the true location of it, I might be able to find an effective means to triangulate how things have shifted and how things have actually moved. I have a greater understanding of how things have shifted, but in order to truly be able to put that into a sort of equation that can be used to reevaluate maps, I need to confirm the actual location of Elgara.
I see.
This will also put me in that direction. Elgara once upon a time had a means of mass transit using um, I think it was, she called them obelisks, if I remember correctly, right?
Yes.
They had a method of transport that they use that they just refer to as obelisks that help actually do that. They don't really work very much anymore, but research in this field can help me understand that old magic, recreate it for today's age,
I will
and
be right
help me in
back.
the
I'm getting a phone
process.
call.
Look,
My doctor's apparently calling.
So yeah, Sabo and Nia, fuck these people. I hate them. I hate them all.
Why? Because they don't. Eh,
Don't what? I heard you cut out on me.
why?
Bastard trying to threaten me some bullshit.
Okay, but at that point, basically, you hate anyone more powerful than yourself.
Rules for me, not for thee. Or sorry, rules for thee, not for me. It's just, I mean, it's just, it's just what mages do. We do one of two things. One, we get along and we like bounce ideas off each other. We do research with each other. We fucking hate each other because it's a giant ego war. It's just the way it is.
Right, of course. Not sure I've seen many mages do research together though.
If they have similar interests, they can probably work together.
I gotta say, the kitsune looks pretty cool. Because it's the best race. Is everyone else here? Sorry, I was busy going to the bathroom for a second.
Yeah, I mean,
Cool. I hope you're having a good time. That checks out. Well, I'm gonna go sneeze. Between us, for a second, I read that message as we'll be AFK for about 5 months. And I don't know why, but my brain just accepted that.
Well, I mean, not completely unreasonable.
I know, right?
Let me take a look at this kitty cat.
Not kitty cat, fox.
Foxy Fox.
Anime
Foxes.
I've
do shit.
never understood why
Shut
foxes
up.
are not cats.
Because they're dogs, unfortunately.
Well, it's just wrong.
I agree, but like they are like literally dogs, like
I know, but
scientifically.
but that's wrong.
I know it is, right? It's like
Yes.
they have cat software.
Yeah.
It's like someone downloaded cat on a dog, and then gave him a really, really pretty tail. I love foxes. Foxes really
So
won this year.
as an interesting note, there was actually research that was done that showcased that before mankind actually like domesticated dogs, they actually chose foxes first. Foxes themselves are obviously much more intelligent than dogs are, but there's a belief, there's a belief that the probably reason why they eventually started using dogs at some point in time is because they don't get as scared, or specifically, yeah, they just don't get as scared. They're much more stout of heart.
Mm.
There's the reason why they because you can find people being buried with their animal companions going pretty far back, but the earliest things they find people being buried together with foxes dating back something like 15,000 years or something like that. There was record of it in like Russia or something like that. They actually recorded it.
Our
Okay.
It's
ancestors were
it's an it's
smarter than we are.
it's an actual thing. Like you can go Google it. It's actually really it's some pretty neat sort of research. It's an
I'm gonna
assumption
Google
anyways.
that
That
right
reason
now.
why they swapped to dogs. It's an assumption, but you can find people buried with foxes much further
I
back
can
than you can
tell
be
you
buried
why
with
they
dogs.
swapped to dogs. They got tired of the screaming.
You shut your mouth about the best animal in the world.
I'm joking. But
Better be. We're gonna hurt my feelings.
no, they have a very nice voice.
Thank you. I
We
have to
have
represent
foxes.
Fox.
We have foxes outside the house. They sing.
Hell yeah, buddy. Hell yeah. Damn, I knew the
Um,
UK was wild, but goddamn.
yeah, like middle of London. There's foxes going around. Sure, sure. There's almost no stray cats and dogs because
Just
they get
stray
caught.
foxes. Let's go.
Yeah, the cats and dogs they get caught and shelter off. The foxes are kind of left. I guess
Let's
they do some
go.
foxes as well, but the foxes are
Fellas, I'm gonna have to move to the UK now.
not
Sorry.
really allowing you to get caught. I guess I don't know.
So
First
if you're
island,
actually
here I
doing
go.
So Nia, if you're actually also somewhat interested, there's also been an ongoing research project in Russia for the last like 30 years, where they've been actively like breeding foxes, and every single time when they choose the next generation, they're always choosing the main trait of how docile each generation is, and they found that in the span of something like 5 or 6 generations, they already were starting to lose like their musky scent. And now at this point, 30 years down the line with the actual like breeding project and doing that research, they're showcasing that they have entirely lost that musky scent, and they actually respond to humans in the same way that dogs do, in terms they get excited with humans and stuff like that. Very specific traits that you find in
I
dogs.
am gonna look into that right fucking now. That is the
Yeah,
cutest thing I've ever fucking heard. I am
yeah,
dying
yeah.
already.
Yeah, they even like you can actually look at their like on their face, their actual facial structure has also changed over the generations, and the only trait they chose for when they bred generation of generation was how docile the next generation was.
So what you're saying is those foxes had some dog in them, and that was the docileness. And by
Well,
And the
breeding
dog in them.
docile foxes, they're breathing out up the dog.
the
That's the
actual
dog.
ramifications of the research also showcases how quickly we probably did the exact same thing to wolves. Obviously,
Mm,
since we're they're actually just doing the research and it's much more controlled. It happened in only a handful of generations. It probably happened
right.
with wolves over the course of like 10 or 15 generations, or even longer than that. But it still shows that it actually provides a real like lens into how we actually domesticated wolves and we actually got our dogs.
Meanwhile, cats are just the same fucking assholes they've always been. They just kind of popped up, chilled out, and they're still here killing a shit ton of things per year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Cats. That's the other always unique trait is that cats. There's reason to actually see that in they actually see documentation of that in at some point in Egypt they just showed up out of nowhere and immediately chose hanging around human areas because obviously mice want to eat usually eat any sort of food, usually
Yeah,
like
I
grain and
heard
stuff
that.
like
I
that.
researched that part too. It's because of the grain stuff, right? They had people
Exactly.
saving a lot of grain, and then the cats fed on the mice, and then people start keeping cats around because the people had a lot of grain, there's a lot of mice, and the cats really liked that. And humans look at the small, fluffy murder hobo, going, "Oh, hey, that thing is clearing out my pest. I'm gonna keep that
So
shit
yeah,
around." Boom.
and
And you
there's
just never stop that because it's still useful today to have a cat killing
yeah.
pests, right? So they just didn't drop it.
Exactly, and the other thing also see too is that there's showcases that there's our ability to actually tolerate oh my gosh, there's there was another research study that was actually done here in the U.S. showcasing that humans have a oh my gosh, there is a parasite in cats that obviously gets into mice and it makes them more erratic and aggressive, and it usually results in them getting themselves killed so that that parasite can complete its reproductive cycle. And when it actually humans get it, it actually causes them to actually take more risks, and that's how it is believed that over the course of generations affected humans, and so that's the reason why people like humans actually like adrenaline. It's a direct result of evolution together with actual cats. There's that. If you understand what I'm trying to say, right? So basically, humans have also been altered. So in the grand scheme of things, what does this mean? It means that humans have altered dogs and foxes for our needs, but cats have changed us for theirs.
Did cats domesticate us?
Didn't you know?
Oh fuck, that's awesome. I thought they just kind of chilled around. I didn't know they actively domesticated us biologically. That's incredible. Oh
Yeah,
god, I'm gonna
yeah.
use the bathroom again. Be
Obvious,
right back.
obviously we domesticated and changed cats, but it's more funny to say that we changed dogs, but cats changed us. It's funnier to say that, but
Because
that's
cats
also
are
kind of true.
great.
Yeah.
Cats are spectacular. Anyway, I'm gonna go hurry up
Cats are
to suffer.
fucking dickheads. Come
They are,
home.
but have you seen those little eyes?
Where's
Oh,
the
look at
fucking
you,
food?
baby.
Where's the fucking food? Yeah, and then that's exactly. It's what everybody does, and the cat's just, where's my fucking food?
I do like to imagine cats curse a shit ton because my cat looks at me and I like to imagine he's thinking, hey, you bitch, slut, go get my foot, asshole. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, look at you, baby. And he's like, hey, yeah, get your fucking butt ass off that chair and go fetch my food.
Hey, human, I can see
Exactly.
the bottom. I can see the bottom of my food chalice. Get me more food. You shake,
Yep,
you shake it, and it's like, oh, I can't see the bottom. Therefore, there is food.
those things are so petty. I love them. Anyway, I really do have to hurry off and do my necessities, but I'll be back as soon as I'm done dying again. Not that it matters since James is dead. I'm dead too. Do you think lightning will fell on him?
Hmm.
He did say that he was missing the
He's,
lightning from the God of the Bible, so
he's swimming to the doctor.
makes sense.
Very sorry about that. That call was meant to
It's
happen
all
hours
good.
ago. Okay, where were we?
I'm still talking with Linzel. They agreed they were still going to continue the that she was going to, they're going to fund the research. I don't remember after that
She was
point.
looking to end the conversation because she did not believe that there was anything of useful substance that could.
I mentioned I mentioned Elgara, and that the research is
That
being
would have caught her
also being
interest
applied.
because she is not familiar with the existence of Elgar, but she has heard about it.
Also, I am here, but I will be leaving again to use the bathroom. So
I told her that I was able to somewhat triangulate the position of 3 potential places where Elgara is located. The actual impact of being able to make it there means that just through observation and research, I might be able to understand how things have shifted and moved, and I might be able to reduce it down to basically like an equation to understand where things have actually shifted to, which might actually make it easier to actually change their maps using this new formula if we're able to truly triangulate the actual movement of one location to the other. Is another sort of potential benefit of the research at the end for him anyways with regards to Elgara. It all
Yep.
sort of is all tied up together.
That definitely seems to catch their interest, but after having threatened you, they are not sure if they can entirely trust this information. They seem to be taking it with a handful of salt, just to be careful, just to be cautious.
I don't blame you being skeptical. But Elgar is indeed real. It is a place. I have confirmation that it exists. I managed to meet one of my kin relatively recently that was from Elgara. But once I actually have an understanding of that research about how to actually correct maps, that is something I would more likely intend to be willing to share with really anyone. The teleportation research is yours because your people are ultimately contracting for the work. But the development of understanding how to adjust maps according to how things have shifted is something that I would be more inclined to share, since it is something that is beneficial to everyone, the livelihoods of normal everyday people.
I see. You are not an easy creature for me to deal with. I do not appreciate that. I would go so far as to say I hate that. But I understand it.
What is it as the humans would say? Tit for tack.
Yes, they would.
Well, you have the ability you have magical ability. You can be able to use spells like scrying to contact me when you're able to acquire the resources. Until then, I will likely head back to our ship and continue the research with what I have available to me.
Very well. This is goodbye, Novarius.
Goodbye, Lesnar. Well, sorry, Linzal.
She steps back and places her mask on her face. After she exits the 30-foot area, she seems to vanish. It doesn't appear to be invisibility. You can still feel a magical presence for probably 30 more feet before she's gone entirely.
He turns, he leaves.
Yep, as you walk out the door, you see sitting on a little greyish iron disc just outside of the door, floating probably 5 feet off the ground, is a cupcake.
He stops and he looks he stops, he looks at it. And he just and he walks away and he leaves it.
Alright.
You're not gonna eat the fake cupcake.
I've been given zero reason at this point to trust any of these people. So he has no qualms with leaving that behind.
Alright. Sabo.
That's me.
The reports are going to be delivered to you in person by the head of research.
Is everyone still there?
Yep, just exporting the hero
Yep.
forge for the head of research.
Ah, okay. Fantastical.
They appear to be a gnome, which is relatively rare for this town. The vast majority of people here appear to be humans, with almost all other creatures being a mix of human plus something else. This is one of the few, other than the council, that you've encountered that are not entirely human. Or human at all. Hello.
Hey there.
I got your papers.
Oh, let's take a look. I'm gonna flip through them, grab a napkin, do napkin math. See that the amount of missing red powder roughly equates to the amount needed to blow up 3 ships.
It actually seems to be substantially more.
Oh,
In fact, nearly 90% of the red powder has been stolen, where only about 25% is what would be needed to destroy the ships.
well, shit.
Funny, that was my reaction too.
You don't personally run any of these labs, do you?
No, I just summarized the reports and put them all together for you.
Thank you, thank you. The lab's still on lockdown?
The entire towns have been put into lockdown, not just the laboratories.
I assume the reports have locations as well.
Yep, up the top is their distance and direction from the city. I believe the city is Haiku.
Which city is Haku?
That is
The
the capital.
Wow. Let's write it down. Uh, how much authority do you have?
My authority is technically absolute in terms of conducting research. I could have the cities locked down. I can. What do you need from me? If it's under the umbrella of research, I can do just about anything.
I suppose we might need some help. A team of investigators to help go through. What? Who could have done this?
Alright?
The yeah, people you trust most. I'm going
I'll
to
make a
go.
request to the council for spies.
Well, I suppose we can go together then, since that's where we're both headed.
Okay.
Uh, Someone kind of absent-mindedly is going there, but if he sees anyone along the way, he'll invite them with. Not exactly too much time to waste here.
You wouldn't encounter any of the others on your way.
All right. Well,
except for ironically Kevin, but I'm fairly sure you don't want to bring Kevin into this.
I suppose. I mean, I don't think Kevin is going to have too much trouble, but he's not here anyway, so. I'm just gonna ask Kevin to gather everyone else then, and wait in a somewhere place.
Alright,
Tell them that we might be leaving very soon.
so Nilvarius, about 3 weeks into your research, Kevin knocks on your door.
Yes.
Hey,
When
Sabo
it's
wants
like that.
Sabo wants everyone to meet up. Apparently he needs to speak to the council. Oh, also, we might be leaving soon.
Okay. Let me gather my things. Yeah, obviously he gathers the things, then he goes.
Yep. Nia, there's a knock on your door.
Dead.
And they give you the same instructions. Alright. Nilvarius, you go and meet up with Sabo.
What I meant is to Kevin to gather them up while I speak to the council. Because I don't think we should be wasting time.
Ah, okay. In that case,
Sorry.
he'd just make sure that everyone's on the ship and let everyone know that they'll be leaving shortly.
Exactly.
Okay, Sabo, so you're going to go see the council?
Yes.
Okay. You're pretty much immediately taken to the second floor, and there's next to no waiting, as the room is cleared for you to go and speak to the council. There are currently
Gonna go
two in
with
the council chambers.
Who have we got?
It is the Drow and the Kitsune.
Uh, Honorable Pagonzith and have not met.
We have met. You just did not see me.
Fair enough. I also did not acquire your name.
Lae'zel. Sorry,
Nice to
Linzel.
meet. Nice to meet you, Lenzel. I also look at the head researcher. Well, shit is our opinion. There's a high chance there's going to be more attacks.
I thought the situation was under control.
A lot more of the powder was stolen than was needed for what happened. Make of that what you will. We are going to. This is why we had to double check, I suppose. So we are going to be heading
You need
out
not
and
worry, the Drow says.
Yes.
Over half of what is missing is from me.
Oh. Well, that.
After I received your information, I sent out several groups to infiltrate and to acquire as much as they could. I needed to confirm for myself how easy it was to steal some.
So the reports were made after you had stolen some.
Yes.
Do you have number on how much you had stolen? I get out another napkin.
He writes a scroll, walks over to what appears to be a little box against one of the walls, opens the box, places the scroll inside, and closes the box. The red powder will be brought to you.
Oh, well, it's not that I need it. I just wanted to make sure that the
I
numbers
do
check
not have
out.
exact measurements.
Alright. Brought to where?
Wherever you will be in about 4 hours' time.
Okay,
The amount that he has specified does leave about 20% unaccounted for.
presumably.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's confirm, because although it might not be as bad as we thought, it still doesn't account for all of it.
His eyes narrow at that. That is not what I'd like to hear.
Suppose we'll wait here, so I don't have to go back and forth. We'll be outside.
Very well.
I'll spend 4 hours brainstorming with the researcher what we do in case there's 20% still missing.
The researcher is not very good at retrieving stolen or damaged supplies. He normally hires a group to handle that.
Well, that's okay. It's more so how, yeah. So he has, apart from hiring people, no. I'm gonna bounce ideas off him then. Just.
Alright. 4 hours later, just under 4 hours, several chests are brought to you. Each one
Okay,
appears
we'll
to be
look.
bigger on the inside, as they are opened up to reveal pile upon pile of sectioned out red powder.
I am here. Hello.
Sectioned
up?
out? In what way?
They're basically subcompartments within this chest.
From different labs.
Not necessarily
What
different
need?
labs, but different amounts. So each container roughly holds the same amount.
Hmm. Okay.
Um,
So it's mixed. We don't know which one came from where.
Correct.
Okay. Let's just.
Oh, actually, no. The
test.
chests are from different labs.
Okay.
There's the 4 major labs.
How quickly can we test the purity of a sample?
These appear to have been purified.
Aha. Okay. That's fine. Then we just need the amount.
Yep.
It's
Okay.
plus minus 10, plus minus 5%, I guess, at this point.
There is 15% unaccounted for. My apologies, 20% unaccounted for.
Okay. Can
James?
okay.
Maybe?
Yes, we can hear you. Do we have
Sorry,
any
yeah.
extra?
I pinged you because Sabo had just sent instructions to Kevin to tell everyone on the ship that you would be departing shortly. Well, that you might be departing shortly.
All right. Sorry. Nia's okay with that, but do you need her for anything?
Not right this second.
Yeah, but do you need Nia for anything? Do you want her company?
For now, because that was quite time sensitive, I asked Kevin to get everyone on the ship, and I will be heading there shortly myself as soon as, well, basically now. I'm gonna inform the council and go.
Okay, I can handle my allergies until you get there. Don't worry.
Alright.
So if there's any additional information, like on the purity from each lab, like maybe how much they stole versus how much they received as purified, that would be useful.
They
If not, there's
have
not.
that information because
Okay.
they were purified on different days. So based on how long it took them to acquire the sample determined the purity, so the longer it took, the less pure it got.
But okay, so here's a question. All of this within 3 weeks, yeah?
Yes.
So when the labs went into lockdown, the purity started dropping rapidly. Is what you're saying.
Within 3 days of them going into lockdown, yes.
Okay. So somebody else found out about it and beat the drow to it.
That does appear to be the case.
Well, okay, that is interesting. And interestingly, it started happening only after we came to the capital and delivered the information to the council, and not before that.
Correct.
Would this drop in purity account for a reasonable percentage? Like, would it cover at least like half of the missing?
That is accounted for earlier in the math, so the 20% is after the purity has been accounted for.
No. I mean
Sorry, go
the
ahead.
dropping purity. I mean the dropping purity. So I can extrapolate what the purity was when we informed them based on the kind of amount siphoned off since then, right?
Yes.
If all of this stolen red powder was of the highest purity of the highest assumed purity, how much would be missing? Well, basically, I'm trying to say, with this data, I should be able to figure out how much was stolen by the person who learned about it when we told the council.
Alright. So in current samples, about 1 in 10 is considered pure. So sorry, that's not English. In current samples, 90% of it is what is the word? Tainted. It is
Yes.
basically been
And
replaced with the other substance.
yeah.
That's on average across the labs. Each day after basically caused it to get more tainted as more were
Mhm.
being skimmed off and then replaced with red sand, and that was being mixed into the supply, and then some of that was being taken. So each stolen sample was also getting less potent.
Yep. Yep.
You would presume that this started when the council was informed. It could be some sort of mad dash by different members of the council to acquire as much as they can for whatever their purposes are, or it might be information slipping out from factions relating to them who had access to this information. Or it might be the fact that they went into lockdown, people in those towns tried to make a mad dash for acquiring as much of the powder as possible.
Lockdown happened the whole 3 weeks before, or even more. Lockdown happened like a month before we told the council. 3 weeks before we told the council.
Told the council that the samples were being... that there was more being
Replaced with
taken.
red sand.
Yes.
No. So, explosions went off. We started lockdown, yeah?
Yes.
Then we go to the council. But we go to the council 3 weeks later when we finish the ship.
Yes.
So lockdown, 3 weeks. We
So
go
there
to
was
the
a lockdown,
council.
then there was the gap in time where
Yep.
the council then issued, like after those 3 weeks, that was when the council issued for the count to occur so that you got access to the
Yes.
information that you needed.
Yeah.
And that's when they would have sent their... well, that's when the Drow would have sent his group of people
Yes.
then to go get it.
Correct. So the most pure sample that the Drow got, if we adjust to that purity, yeah.
Yep.
So basically, what I'm asking, the most pure sample that the Drow got should be 75% pure. That means that before that day,
Okay, yep, I get what you're saying now. So, from what you can tell from the Drow sample, it is not 75% pure, it is closer to about 60%. Which means someone was
So-
taking from it before then.
right? So there was still something stolen before the Drow,
Yes.
but after the Drow, even more was being stolen.
Yes.
It was 60 and not 75. Then there's like another 10%, and we don't know where that 10% went. I don't think it quite adds up. There was 60, that means the Drow stole the rest, but you said it was dropping during the Drow.
Keep in mind that the Drow is also getting a fair amount of red sand in addition to the red powder.
Uh-huh. Okay, so his path was off. Okay. Alright, let's go back to the Drow.
Alright. You're brought into the council chambers, and the two of them are waiting and prepared for you.
Right. We ran the numbers. We think about 10% of the total was stolen before we informed the council. And after we informed the council, accounting for your men, the rate of theft went up drastically. So somebody else had activated, so to say. So about 10% was gone before, 10% after, right, James?
7% before, 13% after.
Right. So about 7% before, 13% after. The The 7% could have been gone before the lockdowns. The 13 should still be in the lockdown area somewhere.
The drow stands up. I will have people begin looking into this.
How should we assist? The team should be ready to go.
As far as I can see, your entry into the town only risks making this situation far more public than it needs to be. Your status as Celestials prevents this from being a subtle investigation. Before, we needed your status to make it look like this problem was being dealt with. Now, with as widespread as it appears to be, your status only hinders our ability to maintain peace.
Would you like us to make it seem as if we're done and head back? Then?
For now, I would like to release you from this investigation. I can take it from here.
Shall
if you
we,
are needed, we will be contacting you.
Shall we confirm with the mayor of that region before we execute him that he doesn't have any extra stashed somewhere?
Yes.
Okay. And how can we get the news back to you?
In the mayor's office, there is a reporting system. If you place it in the... Sorry, just checking the office. Yeah.
Okay. We'll do that. Thank you. I guess we're going to act as if everything is nice and happy and we can go.
Alright.
I'm going to bow out and head off to the ship.
Yep.
Inform everyone on the situation.
All right, what's the situation?
Well, turns out another 7% of the red powder was stolen sometime before we informed the council, and about 13 is still unaccounted for but stolen after we informed the council. We have been asked to not spread panic, as the council thinks that it's not advisable for us to.
Oh, do they have a mole?
They seem to have them, yes, and we
Fascinating.
our status would make it difficult for us to track it. So our plan
Okay.
is to go back and pretend like it's all done and dusted and execute the mayor.
All right. Do we have to execute the kid that I didn't want to execute, or are they fine?
Kevin managed to bargain on their behalf. We
Right,
are free to pick a punishment for the kid.
cool. Guess I'm getting an apprentice.
Are you gonna turn him into Todd Howard too?
Let's go. You're my familiar now. Incidentally, are you doing okay? She asking you this, Sabo?
Just a bit of a shock, but doing better now.
All right. If you ever need anything, just say the word, okay?
Yes, thanks. It was just that when I received the initial report that 90% of the red powder was missing, I was a bit
Yeah, that would be a bit of a problem, huh?
really shocked. But turns out A good chunk of that was just safekept by the Drow and his agents and is accounted for.
Okay. As long as he's not the mole, we're fine.
Well, he offered that information and the red powder quite freely. I suppose we can't really protect the council from themselves. Doesn't make
That's
too much
true.
sense.
Well, if he and his people were the mole in the council, then I think they deserve the win at this point.
Wouldn't be any reason for them to have us investigating in the first place if it was the case. So,
I agree.
right. Well, we should set sail, but I suppose it's not quite as urgent. So, if anyone wants to delay a day and finish up any business in the city,
We will finish up any business in the city in a few hours, and then we can set sail. James, I'm setting this up so that I have time for tell what I did in after this session when I'm feeling a bit better. Is that okay?
All right.
yeah, let's do the shopping after the session if that's okay, because we don't have the money on us. Well, we don't know the money yet anyway.
Yeah. Plus, again, I'm not super doing no great, so I wouldn't like to do it right now.
All right.
Thanks. Just like setting this up verbally so you know what my intentions are. Okay, so up we go.
Alright. So, the ship takes off.
I did have one thing to ask you, Sabo.
Yes.
So, do you want to execute the people they told us to execute, or are we doing something else with them?
I don't see why we would not.
We could keep him in the ship.
It's not like we have too much space on this ship.
Didn't we need more crew?
No.
No?
We needed a couple of mages, which actually we hire in the city, so we
Yeah.
pay them
Also,
less.
well, I'm saying this because the mayor specifically is useful, right? Because he's an alchemist, and if he dies, his knowledge dies with him.
Well, he's a great alchemist. Harboring a criminal might not be the best idea if we want to maintain good relations.
I do, but I don't feel great getting rid of him.
Do you want to reincarnate him again?
I think
No.
that might get caught very
As the person
quickly.
who would actually have to execute, the ritual, that is something that
Yeah.
I will not do.
How come?
I'm not. I've already made it clear. I disapprove with his method of how exactly he was going to do it. How exactly he insisted on trying to. No, this is as far as I'm concerned. This falls into that same sort of envelope. I'm not gonna. He committed a crime. I'm not going to help him get away from it, even if he would accept it. I'm not going to participate. I will not help.
Fair enough.
Okay. Seems fair.
If you're gonna do that to help him escape his just punishment, then find someone else to do the ritual. I will not do it.
That's okay. I just wanted to hear the group's thoughts. Are you doing okay, Nilvaris? She asked you this very innocently.
Geez, everyone seems mad today.
Yeah, I know. Nilvaris, noticing that you seem to be taking a bit to answer, she walks up to you and gives you a hug. It is very awkward.
I'm sorry. What would you say? I'm sorry.
She asked if you were okay. You sounded mad.
He's like irritated about this whole like sort of situation just because like as I said before, stupid, like humans and their like dumb problems and how they insist on trying to get away from stuff is just like he's more annoyed about this entire situation that this is what it sort of has devolved into. If you try
He gives
like
you a
hug him,
hug.
he definitely is kind of awkward and he just pats you on the back a little bit, but he doesn't go full embrace.
Yeah,
Are you?
awkwardly
Are you?
tell you, I am doing this to
Oh,
try and make you feel better.
awkwardly is like, are you okay? Is like awkwardly as he's patting your back. Are you okay, Nia?
No, yeah,
Completely
you seem
misunderstood.
mad. You seem mad, and I hear that people do this to feel better.
Thanks, Nia. I
You are
appreciate the
very
attempt.
welcome.
I appreciate the attempt.
No, that's what matters. Let's go. And honestly, I feel like she's just gonna go talk to Leuven at this point. She has done her duty both as a crew member and a friend. She's satisfied with the outcome because she's not particularly attached to anyone except from the kid that she specifically said she didn't want to die. Also have to go ask Leuven something.
Okay. What would you like to go ask Leuven?
How do I turn someone into a cat?
I actually have something for this. Not anything actually useful to you. But you know that meme where the kid asks about getting a job and the guy leans
Yeah.
forward, it gets all dark?
Yep.
Leuven basically does that, so you finally want to turn people into animate creatures for your own purposes.
Finally?
It was inevitable.
Finally? She blinks again? Is this a wizard rite of passage I didn't know about? Nia is now invested.
Good. Okay.
Is this a wizard thing?
Yes.
Oh my god. A rite of passage?
Those who wield blades kill their enemies. Those who have truly mastered magic can keep them as pets.
Sounds badass, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm going to limb and assume that Nilvaris is nowhere nearby.
Nope, he would not be
Awesome.
saying a single word of this within earshot or within several rooms of Nilvarius.
Yeah.
Let's just hope Nia doesn't go ask Nilvarius about this ancient wizard practice.
Well, Nia knows that the first rule of Leuven's training is you don't repeat anything that he ever tells you to Nilvarius unless he specifically says to.
Understood.
Because, unlike Nilvarius, there is nothing kind about Leuven's training. It is putting you above literally everyone else. Just period. There is your friends, there is you, and then there's all other creatures.
Understood. I will keep that in mind and moving forward. For how Nia develops psychologically. Oh yeah, he did have a thing with friends, didn't he?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
He has a thing about friend, doesn't he?
Yes. It is
Badass.
also worth noting that Yami Nia dislikes
Yes?
Leuven.
Why does she dislike Leuven?
Leuven is unethical, he is wrong, and he is an idiot.
In that order?
Yes.
I will be asking her about this because that is very curious.
She
I'm
doesn't
assuming
think
he was about
She does not think you
Yes.
should be trained by him. In
Wasn't
fact,
she
she
trained by him?
only for a time.
I'm assuming the same time that I've been trained by him thus far.
There was a moment, not long from now, that she opened her eyes to him. She had a
What did he do?
choice to save him or to let him die. She let him die.
Huh. I'm assuming there's a reason for that, beyond him just being stupid and evil and whatever else. Like, I'm assuming there's something that he did. And or said.
She doesn't want to get into that.
Is that a you will see situation?
It is, if I tell you, it loses all developmental impact for you.
Okay. So it is a you will see situation.
I suppose.
I'm gonna be afraid of that. And looking forward. And afraid. Mostly afraid. She will be keeping that in mind.
Okay. So, can I get 3d10 from someone, please?
Me. Also, can I go have my crisis now? I've been holding it in for a little bit.
All at the same time?
Yes, please. And yes, you can.
James? Thanks, I will be. Please tag me again. But by the way, I am listening. I have this like on speaker in my phone when I'm not in the room, but it's hard to catch every single word, so that's why I asked you
That's
to
all
tag
good.
me. Oh god, this sucks.
Okay. Alright. So the ship takes off and makes its way back to... where is that town name? Glent.
Sorry, I need to pee. I'll be right back.
Sabo. Okay, I think everyone is AFK right now.
Sorry, I was muted somehow. In my thing, it's Card, not Glent. Is it Glent?
I think you're talking about the port.
Aha. So Card is the port and Glent is the nearby town.
Yep.
Okay, I'll fix my notes. Yes, I'm listening.
Okay. The ship pulls into port, landing in the water. There is cheering. There is a massive crowd forming. Well, as massive as the port can actually do.
What's going on here? Guys,
They're cheering because it's a flying ship.
oh, right. Well,
Sorry, I'm back.
Welcome back.
I suppose it is a flying ship. Maybe we should next time maybe we should land away from towns and sail in.
Well, this town did see you take off before.
Yeah, exactly. This town is not exactly a problem.
Alright. So, the ship has landed. You're making your way into town?
Yeah. We'll make
Alright.
our way to the mayor's office to give him the news.
Yep, you open the door to the mayor's office and you can see him sitting at his desk. And he places his pen down. He stands up. He walks away from his desk because he did tell you that he's got little devices there that he can pull levers, step on different pressure plates to cause traps to activate,
Yeah.
and he doesn't want you to feel threatened. And then he walks over to you. Welcome back. How did it go?
For all intents and purposes, I believe it went well. The council has agreed to alter the exploration program in order to, in line with our recommendations. They will fund the research for emergency extraction of the crew, and they will allow us to transition into building smaller and faster ships that are crewed by less people. They have been persuaded that both of these will actually increase the efficiency of the exploration and not just make it safer.
That's good news. I'm not inclined to think that you're only bringing me good news.
No. We'll
I'm a
have
dead man,
some-
aren't I?
Unfortunately.
Well, we knew this was coming.
We do need to ask you one question first, though. Do you have any of the red powder stashed away?
Maybe a few. He opens up one of his cabinets, pulls back a secret compartment in the cabinet, pulls back another secret compartment within the cabinet, and pulls back a final secret compartment within the cabinet. And you can see a couple jars of red powder, maybe a tenth full. These are tainted samples from experimentation on trying to make it more potent. This is like not even 0.1% of what would be in the supply.
So you used everything that was procured for the 3 ships.
Yeah, we might have wasted about twice what is here, but I tried to hold on and make as much use of what we had as we could.
Okay. No, seems like you're not the only ones onto this, so that's unfortunate. Well, has been requested that you are not buried in this land and instead taken out to sea.
I see.
We will not expand the investigation further than the people we already know. So we were not really instructed to do so, and we don't feel like it. Do you need to say any goodbyes? Question mark.
He walks over to his desk, pulls out a little scroll and leaves it on his desk. There appears to be a gold seal on it with slight platinum engraving.
Your apprentice?
Yes. How immediate is my execution?
I don't think we were given any timelines, but
You
I
would
suppose
rather
any
not be held off
reasonable.
on.
Well, any reasonable business you need to conclude, it's reasonable amount of time. I don't see why not.
Then I ask you allow me to finish the day.
I look at the others. I suppose that's perfectly reasonable. I trust we should not be worried about you running off.
No.
Okay.
He starts not packing up his office, but cleaning up his office. He goes over many objects of sentimental value to himself. And he's going to spend the day doing that. Then he's going to make his way to your ship once he's done.
Question to the team: are we bringing the lady we resurrected?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
We're executing the lady that we resurrected, right?
Oh, okay.
We promised to not make a show of it, but we can't exactly not involve her as long as she's around.
Navarre doesn't add it doesn't really add anything. He doesn't contribute. He just started, whatever you're gonna do, Sabo. This is, he doesn't want to be involved. Whatever decision you make.
Okay.
She was given the instructions by Nia to scray him from this town. And that was before you guys left.
And did she scram?
Yes.
Okay, so we can't find her. Hope we don't find her.
Alright.
Okay. Were we instructed to give a speech? I don't think so. I think they said that we don't need to do a public show of this.
It doesn't need to be a public event, it just needs to be publicly understood.
Okay, well, we'll make sure that the public can see us taking the mayor. How would we take him into custody without making it too insulting, Like, to make it understood that he's being taken away behind the barn or sent to the farm, and but without dragging him away like a criminal.
You could put out a statement after the fact.
Okay, so we will just go with him, kind of in a... Yeah. Okay, we'll do it after the fact then. Everyone can see that he went freely, came freely.
Alright.
We'll fly off to sea, and I'll ask him if he's ready.
I am.
I'm sorry it has to be like this. I think that I can see that you did the best for your people, and we'll make sure your plan is seen through.
That is all I ask.
I'm going to just do it in the most painless way that I know.
Okay, so point blank cannon to head.
I'm not gonna waste a cannon shot, but crossbow bolt through the temple.
Okay.
And then I'll bleed him out into the chalice.
Okay.
I mean, on the
I'm
plus side,
not
at least his death
wasting
can be
any
used.
perfectly good blood.
What were you saying,
Look,
Nilvaris?
I didn't say that in character. I said that out of character. At least his death apparently had some kind of use to Savo. Of course it did.
Alright.
I
So,
was very clearly instructed his body is not to be respected, okay?
If it matters, Navarez did not attend. It did not attend this execution.
And well, we're going to just toss him out to sea, and I guess I'll fireball him on the way down. He's a little toasty.
okay.
Then we'll come back and put out a statement.
Alright, what is the statement?
I'm going to get somebody who's better than me at making statements. But the gist of it, so I'm gonna hire ChatGPT, okay? And I'm gonna bullet point for ChatGPT, right?
Okay, so it's
And
a
then
near
I'll
problem?
And then I'll proofread it. Because I know what ChatGPT does. But yeah, the statement is basically that it has been discovered that the mayor was behind the ship explosions, and he had willingly surrendered to the punishment. Yet his sacrifice was not in vain. It has shown the love he had for his people, the love and care he had for his people, and as such, the exploration program will be modernized to include faster and safer ships with less crew
Are you
and
sure you
considerably
want to
less risk.
encourage this path of behavior?
I don't want to encourage this path of behavior.
Then are you
I
sure you want to acknowledge that it was effective?
I want to say that despite the fact that he took a very wrong path and he could have just spoken to us, we think that the points he was making are valid, and we had followed through on his wishes. Does that make more sense?
Yes.
There we go.
Alright. Can I get a society check from you, please?
I'm actually good at society. Just need the thing to wake up. This map, high Q, takes a long time.
Sorry, it's rendering technically an entirely other program to Foundry in it. I will move you to a different map.
Is it like procedurally
Kinda.
how can you actually add labels and seeds to it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it actually takes all of the town information that I give it, and it constructs the layout based on the information that I give it.
And it's reliably does it every single time the same?
If you look in the seed, yes.
Right. But what if you want to add labels to the map?
Then all I have to do is actually enable labels. They're already there.
Okay.
So it takes
So
all
it
of my district
generates-
labeling, all of my town information and stuff, and it just places it where it should be.
Does it really need to generate it every single time then?
So it's actually a fully interactive interface, so I can actually click on each of the buildings, and for example, I can see it will load the .json with all of the item data, so what that shop actually has in
wow.
stock.
Oh. Okay. Intense. Right. Society check. Here we go. Master society. Do I have anyone inspirationing me for this? Doesn't really
You
matter.
do have a +1 circumstance bonus from being a Celestial.
Me.
Nice.
I don't know what that is. I just heard the word inspiration in me after I came back from my bathroom break, and I just decided to say me dramatically to announce that I'm back. But I'm sticking to my joke.
I think 35 was okay for the. Will be
Oh,
fine.
so I don't have to? Okay.
You want to, but it's just.
Well, if it's
I was
okay,
more
it's
looking
okay.
for bardic inspiration or guidance or things like that.
No, if it's okay, it's okay. Got it. Then I guess I'm not doing it. But let it be known I was willing to.
Thank you, thank you.
I
Let
believe
the
Flurry can
masses
give you a
know.
+1 status bonus to it. Sorry, +2 status
Alright.
bonus.
Let's go 37.
Alright. So, you put out this statement.
What statement are we putting out? Oh,
The death of the mayor.
did we actually kill the mayor already, or did we just what?
Yep.
Damn,
The mayor
I was
is
hoping to
dead.
turn into him. I was hoping to turn him into a cat.
You can turn the little boy into a cat.
No, the mayor was actually useful.
The mayor was supposed to be killed. Sorry, I didn't realize that's what you were doing.
No, that's okay.
Okay. The statement goes out. You will see in the coming days, if you guys remain in this town for several days, what the results of this is.
Well,
And
we'll
then there
remain for a
is
few days.
the boy. What do you want to do about the boy?
Uh,
We do not want
What
to
are?
exactly
Yeah,
execute the boy.
we don't want to execute him. I'm very against him killing him, but we have to punish him, right?
Yes.
And they don't have jails in this place, correct?
I don't think jail is good. It's not a productive punishment.
How does it feel? Do we have space in the crew? Do we want to have him in the crew? What? Like Rowan
We
and shit?
want a useless boy in the crew.
Does he have any class level, James?
I don't think he does. He's only like 16.
He's got an apprentice. I guess, but then we need an apprentice.
Honestly, it sounds like a Kevin problem how to punish this boy.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're making him a Kevin problem.
Yes.
Okay.
Kevin is the
Okay.
one who didn't want to kill the boy.
No, I don't want to kill the boy either.
Sort out the punishment. Okay, you can talk to Kevin.
No, I'm just gonna let Kevin do it.
Plenty of space in my chalice for the boy.
Oh, Sabo.
What?
You never change, do you? I admire that about you. It's nice to have consistency in this world.
It's
I never know what to expect of a new place, but I always know that you're gonna say murder. And honestly, I'm here for it.
it's a
We need more
win-win.
people like you in
Yeah.
this world.
Okay. So,
Vote Sabo 2025.
Ash.
Well, I guess I already did. What?
the second the boy is dealt with, Nia,
Yeah?
what did she ask you to call her again?
You mean
'Cause I know-
Asparian?
Yes, Asparian. That's it.
I call her Yaminia because I know she gets the joke and she finds it funny.
Yes. Asparian says, alright, time to go to Elgara. Tell the others.
Why?
Uh
Oh, that's the spirit in my necklace.
huh.
What the fuck is Elgara?
To ask the others, she face palms. It's like your
You're
ears
gonna
are
go to
painted
the
on.
others. Fellas,
I imagine
Elgara, what's
Elgar's
that?
is probably in like the study doing research as he promised.
Nia probably walks in after knocking politely.
The door's open. The door's unlocked.
Hey, do we know what Elgara is?
Yes,
Is it a good place?
it is the place where that celestial pact was forged. It is the center of elven culture.
Is it a good place?
Yes, I was intending. We have a couple things to need to attend to, but Elgar
And
was a location I was going to convince all of you to actually go to, since we have the means to fly. And I've been managed to narrow down Elgar's location to one of three distinct places.
cool. Time to go to Elgara then.
If
We
I'm
still
there,
have
I
a
will
few.
say, excuse me, we promised to
Nia
get
is gonna
this.
ask you first. Yes,
We have a few things I need to attend to before we can actually go to Elgara.
that's fine. That's fine, right, James?
Are you telling that to Asparian?
Yeah.
No, we must go to Elgara now.
Why?
She just doesn't answer.
Can I have a hint?
I gave you a hint.
We must go to Elgara now?
There you go. She pats you on the head.
Does this have anything to do with the fact that we just killed the mayor?
What do you think?
She's chatting with the necklace, right? She's
Yep,
chatting with
she is just talking in front of you, I'm pretty sure.
Are you
Yep.
actually talking out loud?
Yeah. No, yeah, trust you.
Who are you talking to?
I told you about them.
Did you?
Yeah, she did.
Okay. Well, we can't go
So
yet.
I have the spirit in the necklace, right? And while I'm not super sure of as their origins, I have been trusting them thus far, and they do seem to have some mildly reliable measure of near future events. I'm not sure if it's by calculation or what, but nonetheless, they're saying that we need to leave now with some urgency. And when I asked them about if it has anything to do with the consequences of our killing the mayor, they said, "What do you think?" James, I'm assuming that she looked like approvingly at me when I said that. It
No,
sounded to me like that.
actually. Almost. It was more a case of. Sorry, I'm trying to put this into words without giving away exactly what she's trying to tell you.
I know, but I will need a little bit more than that.
It was more a case of. If I tell you, then you're going to choose not to do what I told you to do.
And while I don't trust them 100% yet, given the circumstances and the fact that we plan to go there yet, I thought this would be a relatively good time to try their advice and see if it works out for us, as well as if it is about the whole killing the mayor thing. We know how this town deals with their problems, and I'm not sure I want to be there for this. Does that make sense?
I understand what you're saying, but I have already made a promise in a contract to continue this research, and I also got a tip from Lesnar that we needed to invest some crystalline creatures that are north of town.
Is it possible for us to change our priorities to go to Algar first and then do that?
No, because Algar is going to take it's going to take a long time to get there anyways, and all three of the locations are vast distances away. It's not a casual
Tell him he can do his research
scenario.
while he's on his way there. That gives him plenty of time to do
We-
his research.
I will repeat that.
Maybe I can conduct the research on the way there, but that means also convincing them to give me the materials and also along with the plan, which I may be able to convince, considering recent conversation with one of their council members. But I still need to look into those crystalline creatures that
Can
Lusnar
we
told
do
me
that
about.
after?
No, because it's what Lusnar said. That sounds like something that's cause some kind of planar phenomenon, and they seem to be maybe related to Arcanum in some way that needs to be handled. I need to see that before time has an effect on it, assuming even if I went on foot, it was only 19 days north of the town. Which if we're
Does
going
Yamini
in
say anything to this?
if we're going in the ship, then it would be faster anyways.
Do we have somewhere to land?
I have no clue. Lusnar just gave me a location.
Well, if we go 19 days north, then we'll have to go 3 days further north and then a bunch of days east to get to the capital again. That's where you can get the Arcanum once it's provided. And from there you can go to Elgara. So on the way back to the capital to get the Arcanum, we can deal with the crystal creature. And then off to Elgara we go.
I will line that out, everything that she's just said to Nularius.
He's a little bit hesitant. He's not very trusting of whatever the hell you have going on right now. But the plan
Nia
would
isn't super either, but she has told you that she views this partly as a way to make sure that this person is trustworthy, and she would like to trust him. She's also been a bit concerned about the fallout of the mayor's death for obvious explosive reasons. So the chance to go somewhere else seemed rather agreeable to her. If you agree with the plan, if you think it sounds reasonable, she will bring it to Tsavo.
He kind of stares at you and through you, and really spending more time like looking at the on this necklace.
After a bit of staring, she will probably approach you.
When you approach, what are you talking? Are you talking about? You're talking Nia approaches.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you continue to not interact with her, she will sit down on the floor next to you, grab your hand, and put it in her head so you can pet her.
Obviously, he doesn't like pull his hand away from when you do that. Does your necklace interact with anybody else, or does it only interact with you?
As far as I can tell, only me, but it also grows in power slowly.
He wordlessly he just opens his hand, like opens his palm in like your direction, just gesturing to you.
She doesn't seem to know. She tilts her head a bit like a cat.
Can I borrow the necklace for a moment?
Is that okay, James?
There is just an incredibly long sigh from Aspirion.
And then? I'm assuming she dealt with something similar, right?
It doesn't stop. It just keeps going.
Nia chuckles. Did you not expect this?
The sigh
I
continues.
mean, you know. You know the guy. Think.
I'm pretty sure it's the opposite. Baron expected this. And was
Sorry, Zelda, you broke up there.
I'm pretty sure it's the opposite. Aspirant definitely expected this and was hoping very hard that you would say no.
She just looked. She doesn't know what Nisparian wants from this, so she's just kind of like. So Nia. So this is a sentient item, right?
Yeah.
Focus on sentient, correct?
Yeah.
So it's not really up to her to decide. It's up to the item. The item is her companion, yeah, but she's not gonna say no without asking the item first, because that would be bad. She would feel bad about that, so she's asking the item what it thinks about that. She doesn't necessarily feel very comfortable about that, but that's because Kevin keeps taking her magical items away.
I'm not intending to take it and keep it. I want to communicate with this thing before seeing their trepidation and uncertainty. You just like reassures her with that. I'm not intending to take it away from you. I want to communicate with this thing before I take anything else from it. Its insistence bothers me.
Does the size stop or what?
No.
I'll just finish the sighing, I guess.
After a little bit longer, the sighing ends.
Doing okay? She looks at Aspiron with a furrowed eyebrow.
Let's do this.
Do I just give it to him?
Well, he
Would they
won't
let
see
him touch
me.
it? Oh. I think if I give it to you, you'll see someone else. She
No,
says
he
to
didn't
us
construct it.
Oh. What will he see then?
He's not going to see anything, and then he's going to say that either you're crazy, or that whatever you're seeing is just trying to manipulate you, and that you're that I'm some sort of dark entity. And then he's not going to trust any of this, because when he attempts to identify the item, he's not going to get any readings back, and we're going to go in circles of we cannot trust this thing, so let's go with something else instead. And I really don't like this. It was a very painful month and a half. Very painful month and a half for me. I don't want to go through this again.
Is there any way you can?
If there was, don't you think I would?
No, wait, hold on. So, I can. This Nilvera has some sort of have a spell for like thought reading, right?
Yeah, but I'm not a thought in your head.
Yeah, but can he use that to share my senses?
The spell is called thought. Spell is called Mind Probe. It does damage, and I can pretty much pull information from you. But it's not.
'Cause
It's
I know
nothing like. It's not like full blown telepathy where I can see stuff. It's where I can anything like that. I can extract very specific information within the spell, but it's not full blown like mind reading or
I know,
anything.
but for example, I have a familiar, right? And I can share my sense to fit. Is there a way to do something similar to another person, James? Another wizard?
Really, you're overriding the familiar with yourself. There is ways to do that, but that's almost domination. You would have to take full control over that creature for the most part.
I see. I don't think it's
Funnily
gonna
enough,
work.
if you had an oracle, they could try to channel your essence, but you don't have one.
And also, Nilvaris, Nia's gonna explain to you how she thinks the item works. Would you like me to do that in character?
Yeah. Oh, if you want,
So remember how this came in the box?
I do.
I think the version of myself that I see is constructed by the way that I solve the puzzle box. I think that there was a ritualism to it, and that's why I think it came in such a weird way. I think that the constructing it is in itself the constructing of the item's personality, the version of yourself that you see. I think if you had gained the item and constructed it in a similar way, you would gain a similar version of yourself that you idealize. But I don't think you're gonna be able to see anything. Well, I know that you're not gonna be able to see anything if you attune to this, and I've had this identified before. It has no magical effects, like aside from the projection of this theoretical, I should call her. It doesn't really do anything. The only way for you to communicate with her is either through me or, I guess, through sharing my senses and talking to her. If I had a way to use illusion magic, I would, but that's a forbidden school, and also I just don't have a spell for that. So, doesn't seem like it's going to be an option. If you don't think it's a good idea, I will understand that, but I personally would like to give this a shot. For reasons I've told you about, I think this would help me know how to deal with this theoretical in the future.
She's tapping you on the head. Also, tell him
What?
that we're sorry and that we are apologizing for the fact that he has to deal with a situation where he is not given all of the facts.
She also told me to apologize to you because we are putting you in a situation where you don't have all of the facts, which, yeah, that does suck. She furrows her eyebrows a bit. Oof. Oh, yeah, no, that sucks. Sorry.
Nia, roll diplomacy
Yeah?
check against me. Make me
Oh,
to
fuck
make me
yeah.
change.
What does he roll against me, James?
To be against his will
I'm just
DC.
I'm just making a I'm just if you like I'm not gonna make any sort of opposing roll or anything like that. It's like if it's greater, then he's just gonna agree with you.
I'm gonna roll, and I'm gonna prepare an inspiration in case I need to. I do have a +2 to this, so that's cool.
That's the best
Power
use of
Rangers.
inspirations to convince party
Never
members of
fucking mind,
things.
huh? 35.
Yeah, I sort of said it for myself. Whatever I
You didn't
assuming I
even
rolled a
need
10, so I
to,
assume that my DC would have been 33. So yeah, he relents. He closes his hand. All right, Nia, I'll trust you on
Thanks.
this.
Thanks, and
Go
if
ahead
it
and
doesn't
inform.
work,
Go ahead and
I'll
inform
trust you in the
Sabo.
future. I'm gonna go talk to Sabo. Sabo, she's gonna tell you about the plan.
Okay, you want to leave right now?
Hold up, everyone. You are late!
Uh-huh.
How
I told
dare
you
you
I was
be so
going to
late?
be.
I cannot believe this, Kevin. You of all people!
Kevin.
Unbelievable! Okay, let's continue.
So you
Well,
want to leave?
technically, you're even later than Flurry by merit of Flurry not being here and thus not being late at all. And I need to use that for me. Okay, I can hold this in. Sabo, she explains to you the plan and the fact that this is kind of like a trial, and also that she is afraid that this is some sort of warning of, hey, if you stay here, there's going to be fallout for the murder of the mayor, and also the fact that the plan seems solid enough.
We didn't.
You've
First
heard
of
it.
all, we didn't really
Uh,
murder the mayor, and second, we kind
the
of.
reason I'm not explaining it right now is because I'm having to hold in and sneeze to talk.
Okay, well, I heard everything, so
Yeah,
I I still we still promised to set up the new exploration program. We can't just leave.
is that something we can do in the way, James? Or like back when we're back or something?
Not
To make sure that-
really.
Is there not of it to this? Does Fire offer any insights?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Leave the apprentice in charge.
Didn't we already do that?
Okay, the apprentice can set it up, but the apprentice doesn't know what to do. I need to talk to the shipbuilders. I need to share the schematics. I need to, you know, get everyone up to speed on what they're doing.
Aspiro does not have a strong argument for any of that.
Can we use sending for like the bulk of the work?
Not
And
for
send it in
that level of
25-word chunks.
the amount of information that are contained in those schematics. We are talking tens of thousands of sendings.
Okay.
Look, I hear your concerns about what might happen. I'm going to try to make sure that it doesn't. I have some people I can trust, I think.
I don't know what to do because I am my mind in real life is kind of clouded by the fact that I'm like having an allergic crisis. So I'm just gonna roll diplomacy at this point. Fuck it, we ball.
I
Uh,
had
know
to
what
roll
else to do.
diplomacy because you were trying to because I felt like that's what was needed to really convince Nilvarius.
This is
I don't
what
think that's
this is what
I
I
don't think
spec the
that's
character into. Fuck it, we
I
ball.
don't think that's a static rule. I just said it works perfectly for me in that
Fair
instance.
enough.
Sabo has more significant timetables that he
Yes,
has
he
to deal with.
does. But I don't know what else to do, and my thoughts are thoughting right now. For obvious reasons.
well, I can promise that we'll leave as soon as we can.
Is
If
it
it's
okay?
important to you.
Is it okay with Yamini?
No. They want to leave as soon as possible. Not as soon as can be, but as soon as you guys actually can move.
I will express that.
And you need to just move, or do you need to start searching for Algara?
I think we already know where it is.
I know I've managed to triangulate one of three possible there's three possible locations where it's at. So it's basically we're gonna search one after the other till we actually find it.
And I think
But I know for a fact it's one of three places.
does she know which one it is, James?
She's not in the ow, Kit Kat, that's my face. Sorry. She knows. You would presume she knows which one it is. She's just not said which one it is.
Can she
The
help
que-
us tell us which one it is so that I can help to use this to try and convince Sabo a bit?